a wonderful January 6th. The last time we had a Republican president elected and Democrats did not object to the electors, do you know when the last time that was?
See, this is the kind of bullshit
No,
that
no, look, it was 1988.
In this video, ex-Congressman Matt Gaetz joins Bill Maher on his Club Random podcast. Bill Maher attempts to get confrontational with Matt Gaetz, but Matt Gaetz calmly and respectfully shoots down all of his BS with facts. With that, let's watch Matt Gaetz eviscerate Bill Maher and his uncontrollable TDS.
I'm an honest broker more than anything else. Okay, so and that's why the left hates me too. The far left really hates me, and I welcome their hatred because because I just will not carry the water
Why do you
of
think it
all
is?
their insanity or yours.
Well, and by the way, no one's asking you to
Annexing Greenland.
or buying
So
it.
buying it is different. See, again, let's just be honest. Come on, we're just guys talking here. Those are two different things. Just look me in the eye and tell me you understand that. They're two different things. Buying something that they agree to sell to us or just taking from another country. That's what Hitler did, and that's Putin. We're not. I know you guys like to be like flirting with authoritarianism, but well, let me ask you that question. You're a married man now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and your wife is lovely.
Thank you.
You did well. And okay, so sometimes in a marriage, the couple, I've heard that both sides. I've heard couples say, "Yeah, I'm a big flirt, but it's okay because he knows I'll never cross the line." But so that's just okay in the marriage. That's like they've decided that's okay to flirt, or the guy does it. Then I've heard some marriages where it's like, no, that is crossing the line. Okay, I bring this up because you guys are really flirting with authoritarianism. You know what I mean? He admires.
Like, we didn't try to throw our political prisoners in jail. We talked about it, but we didn't actually try.
Oh, you did try.
We never indicted Hillary. We never indicted our enemies.
Yeah, because they blocked it. But
Who blocked it?
The Justice Department.
Well,
There were actually some people there at the beginning who.
Oh, Bill. Bill started off this clip on shaky ground. He's an honest broker. I don't doubt that Bill Maher's intelligent, but I do think he's been doing this for a long time and he phones in a lot of stuff. I don't think he really pays that close attention to the news. And I'll give you a reason why I say that. When he's criticizing Trump, all he ever talks about is he didn't concede the election. So it's like he started out with this giant bucket full of complaints about Trump. But then as things got debunked or he realized Trump really wasn't as bad as he thought in that area, his TDS made his brain desperately need to cling on to something that he could complain about as far as Donald Trump goes. And the reason I say that's indicative of him not paying attention to the news is he's a smart enough guy that if he did pay attention to the news, you see how liberals craft narratives around why they hate Donald Trump or why other people should. I think he would craft more arguments than just something that happened 5 years ago. You know, he's got a huge staff there. They probably write all his questions, and he's got a crowd that will clap and cheer like trained seals with an applause sign. Or if he makes a mildly funny, if not unfunny joke, they'll rip up in applause and rescue him when he's backed himself into a corner. So I just think he has a lot of defense mechanisms to prevent himself from looking like a complete idiot on his show. And I think he just has staff that, you know, writes his monologues or his closing statements or whatever you'd call it. And of course, the questions he's going to ask the guests, and he just lets them have a conversation. So he's more like a moderator. Anyway, I didn't mean to go on that long about that. I'll address some of the other dumb things he said in a little bit. Let's get back to the video.
We're a little more fair-minded. I mean, it's not going to be that way in the second term, although that's the job you were up for.
I was. And honestly, I was
If you had
hoping
been there in 2016, would you have indicted Hillary?
only if that's what the facts and the law commanded. I wouldn't have done it as some get back politically, because look, that doesn't end. And what I understand is if you do that to them and they do that to us, then you don't ever get out of the cycle. And as someone who has held some power, it's a pretty frightening concept that when you get out, the people who take power then can utilize the apparatus of the state to deprive you of your freedom.
But of course, you went right to whataboutism. You didn't really answer what
Well, I reject the premise that we flirt with authoritarianism.
Are you? Come on, man. Seriously? using every possible lever to stay in office after he lost the election, plainly. Um, just always being friends with Putin. He likes him. He likes Viktor Orban. Always like pining to be with Team Strongman and not really being that, not really that, into our allies. You don't think that's flirting with authoritarianism? And if you flirt with it, he also makes jokes about, maybe after this term, if it's so good, we should have another one, which would be, again, an abrogation of the basic tenet of the Constitution, 2 terms. That's flirting. That's flirting. To even make a joke about it is flirting with authoritarianism. My question, like in a marriage, can you just flirt and not cross the line?
Of course.
Yeah, most don't, but okay. I'm telling you, most guys, if they flirt, what they're doing is they're
You see what I mean? So Bill Maher presumably knew that Matt Gaetz would be on. It had probably been booked for a while. He accuses the right wing of flirting with authoritarianism. Then when Matt Gaetz says, I disagree with that, did you hear his argument? First of all, what did he go straight to? Trump didn't concede the election. And almost every argument he makes is around Trump not conceding the election. But let's look at his other great arguments. One of them was really spot on. Donald Trump said a joke that he might stay another term since this one will go so well. Yeah, that's really flirting with authoritarianism. And then one that irks me the most, I think, is he's friends with dictators or he's buddies with Putin. How would all his critics like him to interact with other world powers and leaders of nations? Should he just go in there with a confrontational attitude, or should he try to find common ground with them? I think the latter, but I can understand Bill's confusion and the liberals' confusion because they're all about winning the argument and pursuing power. They're not at all equipped to try to find middle ground with someone. And let's think if a Democrat president went to North Korea or Russia and had a productive conversation. Do you think the media would say he's butting up to dictators? Or do you think they'd say he is brave and strong and stood up for America? Here's a hint. That's a rhetorical question. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
seeing if the girl flirts back. If she doesn't, I was just flirting. If she does, yeah, I'll fuck her.
So you think flirtation only goes as far as your options at that moment?
Well put.
Yeah, well,
for a man.
Well, yeah, it might be different for women, but I think that in Trump's case, he looks at 4 years of a pretty peaceful world. You have to concede that. And when I got elected, the places where I would come in some conflict with Trump would be where he would seek powers of war that I thought were reposed in the Congress. And now, and I had all these Democrats really eager to work with me. No war with Iran. We should stop Trump from having that power. But then, as soon as Biden is cheerleading this war in Ukraine, all the anti-war Democrats became pro-war. There are no anti-war Democrats left.
That's an interesting point. It's off the point we're talking about a little bit. It's a good.
I mean, if you're
you
talking
haven't
about
lost all your skills as the congressman. Come on, man.
If you're talking about the use of force to achieve your political goals, I think it's.
If you like watching videos like this one, like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video.
Somewhat on topic.
Yeah, it's not like the left doesn't do a version. I mean, they should not have been bitching about Trump is not a legitimate president. He's that was wrong. I agree. It's very different than actually trying to stay in power. We just had January 6th. It went off smoothly without a hitch. Everyone places. Okay, the rehearsal went great, and now we do it and we go home. But that's not what would have happened if you guys had lost, and you know that.
Bill, you understand
that is an asymmetry you have to address.
Okay, let me address it. You're right. This past week we had a wonderful January 6th. The last time we had a Republican president elected and Democrats did not object to the electors, do you know when the last time that was?
See, this is the kind of bullshit.
Look, it was 1988. It was 1988 the last time they didn't object to Republican. They objected to George W. Bush winning Ohio.
Objection is
Matt. Nothing in Bill Maher's mind is as bad as Trump not conceding the election. I mentioned this on another show I do. How funny is it? Throughout the entirety of my life, the Republican Party was perceived as the pro-war party. Now, in 2025, it's not even a question that the left is the pro-war party. And the comment I made was, how did the party of Vietnam War protesters and hippies become war hawks. Isn't that crazy? I've never heard anybody make that point, but I mean, I know how it evolved into that, but it's still crazy because they're both extremely different positions. But we want to hear from you. What did you all think about this conversation between Bill Maher and Matt Gaetz? Let us know. Anyway, as always, really appreciate you watching, and we will see you on the next one.